8840. This is a flashback, clip 8. This is a flashback. Remember, the Middle East is in flames now. They are burning Barack Obama in effigy all over the world in these Muslim countries. Here is what Barack Obama promised us in 2008. Let's listen.
I truly believe that the day I'm inaugurated, not only does the country look at itself differently, but the world looks at America differently. If I'm reaching out to the Muslim world, they understand that I've lived in a Muslim country, and I may be a Christian, but I also can understand their point of view.
Although you were a little kid when you lived in Indonesia.
No.
Right? Is that what you're talking
about?
Well,
it's not just that. My sister is half Indonesian. I traveled there all the way through my college years. And so I'm intimately concerned with what happens in these countries and the cultures and the perspectives that these folks have.
So Barack Obama says, look, the Muslim world is going to see things differently when I am elected. And as a matter of fact, that's another promise he's kept. The Muslim world is seeing the United States differently. They're hating us more than they did under that cowboy Bush. And remember, we talked about this yesterday. The Pentagon said we are no longer going to do joint patrols with the Afghan below the battalion level, the Afghanis, because they're killing our own people. So we've got to. So what does that tell you? That tells you they know that Islam is not a religion of peace. So again, you catch these people when they don't think anybody's looking. They'll tell you they know that Islam is not a religion of peace. Now here's Barack Obama. He's got a message to the Muslims. This is on David Letterman again. And the question I've got to ask you, hear Barack Obama say this, and it sounds kind of strong and it sounds kind of tough. But the question that you have to ask when you listen to what Barack Obama says here, the question that comes to mind is this, or what? Let's listen.
The message we have to send, I think, to the Muslim world is that we expect you to work with us to keep our people safe.
Or what?
And as offensive as this video was, and obviously we've denounced it and the United States government had nothing to do with it, that's never an excuse for violence. And in this part of the region, as they emerge into a new form of government, part of what they're going to have to do is to recognize that democracy is not just casting a ballot. It's respecting freedom of speech and tolerating people with different points of view, and it means that you've got to make sure that you never have any excuses for the kind of violence against innocents that we saw over the last week. And that's a message that I've sent very clearly to the leaders of various countries, and we expect their full cooperation because that's the only way that the international order works.
We expect their full cooperation, he says, or what? I mean, that's my question, or what? What's it going to cost them if they don't cooperate with the United States? What's it going to cost them if they don't work with us to keep our people safe? It's not going to cost them anything. They know that Barack Obama is a paper tiger. But Mitt Romney, I think, is dialed in on the Middle East. Here's what he said at that fundraiser the other night about the Palestinian people, about the Middle East. It's kind of a long segment, but I want to play it all because I want you to hear from Mitt Romney. This guy understands what's going on in the Middle East. Barack Obama is clueless. Let's listen to Mitt Romney.
I'm torn by two perspectives in this regard. One is the one which I've had for some time, which is that the Palestinians have no interest whatsoever in establishing peace, and that the pathway to peace is almost unthinkable to accomplish. Now, why do I say that? Some might say, well, just let the Palestinians have the West Bank and have security and set up a separate nation for the Palestinians. And then come a couple of thorny questions. And I don't have a map here to look at the geography, but the border between Israel and the West Bank is obviously right there, right next to Tel Aviv, which is the financial capital, the industrial capital of Israel, the center of Israel. It's what the border would be, maybe 7 miles from Tel Aviv to what would be the West Bank. The other side of the West Bank, the other side of what would be this new Palestinian state would either be Syria at one point or Jordan. And of course the Iranians would want to do through the West Bank exactly what they did through Lebanon, what they did in Gaza, which is the Iranians would want to bring missiles and armament into the West Bank and potentially threaten Israel. So Israel, of course, would have to say, that can't happen. We've got to keep the Iranians from bringing weaponry into the West Bank. that means that who? The Israelis are going to patrol the border between Jordan, Syria, and this new Palestinian nation? Well, the Palestinians would say, no way. We're an independent country. You can't guard our border with other Arab nations. And then how about the import? How about flying into this Palestinian nation? Are we going to allow military aircraft to come in and weaponry to come in? And if not, who's going to keep it from coming in? Well, the Israelis. Well, the Palestinians are going to say we're not an independent nation if Israel is able to come in and tell us what can land at our airport. These are problems that are very hard to solve, all right? And I look at the Palestinians not wanting to see peace anyway, for political purposes, committed to the destruction and elimination of Israel, and these thorny issues, and I say there's just no way.
So Mitt Romney, he's dialed in. He understands that the Palestinians have no interest in peace. It's because they're Muslims. And peace with Israel, peace with Christians is not a part of the program. It's not part of the Quran. It's not part of what Allah teaches. It's not part of what Muhammad taught. It's just not part of their religious tradition to be at peace with the Jews and infidels. They think the Jews are apes and pigs. They think that we're the same. And the command of Allah is to destroy us, cut our heads off, neutralize us, wipe us off the face of the earth. They have no interest in peace. And Mitt Romney understands that. Now, Barack Obama doesn't, or he may understand it and just won't admit it. But Mitt Romney's dialed in and understands it. Now, if I'm Israel and I'm listening to the different visions that Barack Obama has for the Muslim world, and I listen to the realistic and pragmatic understanding that Mitt Romney has of the very pragmatic difficulties. Did you hear what he was saying there about weapons and borders and air traffic and all of that stuff? I mean, he has thought this thing through. He's got a very well thought out understanding of the problems that would be created by a two-state solution, beginning with the fact that the Palestinians simply don't want peace. Israel is going to be determined to protect its sovereignty, which means there's going to be limits to what they're going to allow a Palestinian state to do. So Governor Romney, I think, is dialed in on the Middle East. Barack Obama, hopelessly misguided, naive, deceived, or willfully trying to deceive us. Take your pick. Focal Point A for Talk. Back with your phone calls, 888-589-8840.